From FingerLakes1.com, this is Inside the FLX. I'm your host, Josh Durso, and today we're talking to Dennis Scannell, one of the organizers who is making Locktoberfest here in Seneca Falls a reality. Dennis, thanks a lot for coming in today. Obviously, you guys are going through a lot of work in making this possible. How do you feel just now, a couple days away?
I feel really good, Josh. I mean, it's coming together very well. Sort of like how Seneca Falls Canal Fest came together. So it's very positive, and trains left the station.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is Locktoberfest? They've probably heard of Canal Fest and some of the other It's a Wonderful Weekend. They're all somewhat similar in that they're all taking place in the same place, but all of them do something a little bit different. How is Locktoberfest different, and what is it all about?
Well, Locktoberfest is, as you said, is in the same venue. And this time it's only on the north side of the canal. But we'll go back 2 years ago at the initial Canal Fest. We had some representatives from the Canal Corporation come down. And during the Canal Fest, I made contact with them, and we talked, and they thought this was a super idea. It worked out well. The Canal Fest was very good. About 2 weeks later, they contacted me and explained why they were down there. They were searching for another location for this Locktoberfest that's on the canalways. And they were going up to 5 locations, and we were lucky enough to be chosen by them. The other 4 locations are Lockport, New York, Rome, New York, Phoenix, New York, and Fort Edward, New York, which is up on Lake Champlain. But they gave it to us. We ran with it. Last year, we did not have it because 2 weeks before the event was supposed to happen, he wanted us to throw it. And of course, we all got together and said, we're not going to do it halfway.
Right.
You know, we want to do it the right way. So we held off for one year, and now we're full force into it.
Now, what is some of that? So obviously, you say state reps were in Seneca Falls, and they saw the venue, they saw the space, and they took an interest to it. But what is that significance? How important is it for Seneca Falls to receive this kind of confirmation from representatives of New York State to say this is a place, this is the place to have this kind of event?
It's very significant. I always use the description as we weren't at the table. We weren't sitting at the table. And ever since the first Canal Fest, we are now sitting at the table. I've been to several different meetings throughout the state, and people have brought up the Canal Fest. They talked about Locktoberfest. They talked about Seneca Falls and how beautiful our canal harbor is. We're one of the only canal harbors that have electrical and water and other amenities on the site.
Right.
And to bring boaters in, and this is what this is based off of, is the canal. To bring boaters in, especially for the first time, they see this, they spread the word, and more boaters come in. So it is very significant because of, you know, the increased visitation by the boating community, and the situation we're on the map, we're sitting at the table, so hopefully down the road when we go for these grants, these CFAs, that people are listening.
So I think that's important because that's one of the things that I think kind of gets lost on the community at different times when these kinds of events are being discussed. It isn't just about drawing people in for that one weekend a year visit or something like that. It's actually part of a larger effort to bring attention to a community that can benefit everyone. It can benefit taxpayers. It can benefit people who are just visiting, the whole 9 yards. What is, though, some of that local impact? Because obviously the businesses downtown must love it. They must absolutely love having events like this because it's a guaranteed push of energy, traffic, dollars, the whole 9 yards.
It's a significant economic development punch.
Right.
As they say, we want to give people to taste it or smell it from a distance. And the events are a way to, when they come into town, this is when you do the selling of the town, because they're coming in and they're seeing what Seneca Falls has to offer. For instance, the Locktoberfest, we intentionally end it at 10 p.m. because at that point, we're pushing everybody up into the downtown corridor. So they can either eat some more or do a little bit of adult beverage consumption, whatever. But I mean, it's one of those deals where we're trying to stimulate what Seneca Falls has to offer.
Right.
I mean, they need to see it and feel it to come back again. Mm-hmm. And you never know. People have some money to spend, and maybe they'll come back and invest in what we have, mm-hmm. especially when they see the history behind it.
Right, and of course, it's no secret. The Finger Lakes is. It seems like every few months there's a new study that comes out that points to all the millions and billions of dollars that people are bringing here and spending and taking day trips and visiting. So what are some of the things that are actually going to be taking place, or what can people expect when they come out to Locktoberfest this coming weekend?
Well, it's basically a full day. Initially, we were going to have it from 10 to 10 p.m., and what we did is Rotary reached out, and they're going to have a pancake breakfast at 7:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. Starts at 7:30 in the morning. I believe it's up to 11, but at 10 a.m., all the vendors and all the festivities start. Mm-hmm. And throughout the day, we're going to have stuff for the family, especially in the morning. Mm-hmm. Bring the kids down. We're going to have the pumpkins for you to purchase for your Halloween season. We're going to have hay rides. That'll take you down to Ludovico Trail, mm-hmm. which would be a nice little jaunt. And we're going to have this Captain Jack. Generations Bank has sponsored Captain Jack, where this individual comes in. He looks just like Johnny Depp dressed up as in the Pirates of the Caribbean, which would be nice for the kids. And I want him to go and start taking over some boats and commandeering some boats, so that'd be some fun.
Right.
We have face painting, pumpkin painting, all kinds of different stuff for the kids and the adults to enjoy together. And as you move up, and that's going to be, the majority of it's going to be in People's Park, because we don't want the kids to fall down and scratch their knees and stuff.
Right.
We're having the Farmers Market come in. The Seneca Falls Farmers Market is going to participate. So we have them. We have a bunch of other farm organizations coming in. Farm Bureau has bought into it. Meadville Pumpkin, mm-hmm. Pumpkin patches coming down, and they're going to help provide the pumpkins. We're also going to have, as you go up towards the western side of the canal, it's going to be more vendors, mm-hmm. more local restaurants are going to participate. Mm-hmm. We're going to have craft beverages down there. Mm-hmm. We're going to have at midday, about 12:30, the live music starts. Mm-hmm. So we have 4 bands playing that entire day, all the way up to 10 o'clock. So we have some live music down there. So, there's opportunities to dance, to sit, to rest, to listen to some good tunes. Mm-hmm. One special thing that, Ann and her committee came up with, and it's going to be sponsored by the It's a Wonderful Life Committee. We call it Light Up Locktoberfest. In lieu of fireworks, because we just don't have the resources to do it, we're going to go ahead and during the day, you're going to be able to purchase these floating lanterns. And you can decorate them and do what you want with them. And then around 7:30 in the evening, when the sun is setting, we're going to have a mass procession mm-hmm. onto the Canalway with lighted floating lanterns, and it's going to go down the Canalway. So hopefully a lot of people participate, mm-hmm. and we'll light up Locktoberfest. Mm-hmm. So that's a real good idea.
You just kind of hinted towards it, but obviously a ton of work goes into something like this. Just obviously, you don't have to name names, but kind of speak to the effort and how long it takes to put something like this together. That's another one of those items that I feel like gets lost on people, because you aren't talking about something that can be whipped together in just a few weeks. You're talking about months and months of work leading up to what is ultimately a 12-hour or 15 or 16-hour payout at the end of the year when you're finally actually to that day. Speak to that effort a little bit for us, if you could.
Well, it's tough in a way. Like I said before, I think during Canal Fest, I love it. I mean, it reaches out to the community. But if it wasn't for the volunteers, mm-hmm. it would not proceed. We have the same people on the committee as Canal Fest, so it's kind of tough in a way because these people have full-time jobs.
Right.
So we're doing it in a pro bono aspect. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of tough for that we don't have a full-time person. I think it would be much easier and better, in a long way, because with somebody who would do this full-time.
Right. Because
these events are getting larger and larger. Canal Fest, just the 3 days, and we had rain out on Friday night, brought in 18,000. Mm-hmm. This one's only a one-day event, but I'm seeing a lot of activity from the website and the Facebook page, there's going to be a lot of people down there. But the main thing is that we need more volunteers. We need more people to step up, as in every organization needs to get these events going off.
Now, obviously, a lot of the same folks are working on, like you just said, the Canal Fest, and it's a wonderful weekend, and obviously the Locktoberfest. Now, how can people get involved, or how would they go about it? Somebody says, oh, wow, I might want to help out, or I might have some time to give. How could they go about getting involved?
Well, what we did is Seneca Falls Business Association is the lead organizer for both the Canal Fest and the Locktoberfest. And the Locktoberfest has reached out to the other organizations. We're trying to pool resources. It's a Wonderful Life Committee has stepped up. Rotary has stepped up as an organization. Kiwanis is going to be down there. And, we have the sponsors like Generations Bank and others that have stepped up to help in the events. Besides just being sponsors, they're coming to the event and running their little show, so to speak, or helping in other ways. So it is building in a sense through these other organizations, but individually, an hour and a half, that's all we're asking for. And once you're down there, you're going to be down there anyway. We'll give you a T-shirt.
Right.
You'll have fun.
Right.
So,
and I guess that's the last question I want to ask you. If a sort of final plea for people who might be on the fence about coming out this weekend, stopping down, make the case for those who might be, weighing it against one of the other exciting events that might be taking place here in the Finger Lakes.
Well, it's a full day, so I don't expect you to be down there all day. I know that I've been looking at the weather, which is a key. We're supposed to get some showers in the morning, and then it should be all right for the rest of the day. So if it is sprinkling, come down to the community center where the pancake breakfast is. Eat some breakfast, get something in your belly, and come out. We got brunch, lunch, snacks, dinner, the whole 9 yards during the whole day.
You can just eat all day.
You can eat all day, and it's not fried Oreos or fried Twinkies. It's good stuff. Abigail's is coming down there with her award-winning wings. We've got Parker's coming down there, 84 Fall Street coming down there, downtown Delhi. So that's
one other thing I do want to hit before we bounce out of here. How important is it to actually have make sure you're representing the craft beverage side of this? How important is that? Because that is, as far as economic engines go, that has become, for the Finger Lakes, perhaps one of the 2 or 3 largest, with the wineries and cideries and everything like that.
It's another significant point. We've been reaching out to the craft beverage organizations throughout the county, and there's some hesitation on coming down. On the Canal Fest, we pulled some down. Locktoberfest, we have even more. But the problem we have is we have to get them on the calendars early.
Right.
And plus, when they come down, it's labor intensified. So they have to pay their people when they come down there.
Right.
So that's something that they're looking at as they make their decisions to approach Locktoberfest or Canal Fest. Excuse me. But it's very important for us to get them down to the Canal venue, to have them see what's going on, to show that Seneca Falls is a friendly community. We want to welcome them in.
Right.
We need their presence in there. As you said, it's a very important industry. And to tap into the industry that's already present, tourism, here in Seneca Falls, it's just one hand scratches the other,
Right.
And it really works. Another thing about it is the boating community comes in. They're very familiar with the wine industry.
Of course.
And to pack the boaters in, they come in, they park, and they stay here for a couple days. So they're coming out looking for craft beverages. If they're not there, they're going to go to the downtown corridor. But more importantly, we need the craft beverages in here because there's more craft beverage organizations or businesses in Seneca County than there are in downtown corridor.
Right.
So we want to welcome them. It's very important.
All right, well, we really appreciate you stopping in. Obviously, this is a busy week for you guys as you are in your final push now. Best of luck this weekend, and try to get some rest between now and then.
All right, but it's October 7th. 7:30 in the morning starts our pancake breakfast, all the way through 10 p.m. at night for our last band.
Get out.
get out, be happy, eat, drink, shop, and be merry.
That's right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I'd like to thank Dennis, our listeners, and FingerLakes1.com for making this podcast possible. Inside the FLX airs Sundays at 7 p.m. on Spectrum, Channel 12, and is available on iTunes, Stitcher, and the FingerLakes1.com app. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.